So, an industrial accident is an occurrence which interrupts or interferes with the orderly progress of a work in an industrial establishment. According to Factories Act 1948, an occurrence in an industrial establishment causing bodily injury to a person which makes him unfit to resume his duties in the next 48 hours. So we need to understand what is industrial accidents. Whenever we say industry, there is a synonym to industry is an accident, and this is an occurrence which basically interrupts or interferes the orderly progress of a work in a industrial establishment. And according to Factories Act 1948, an occurrence in an industrial accident or establishment which cause the bodily injury to a person, that means to a worker, which makes him unfit to resume back his duties in the next 48 hours. In that case, the person could be entitled to claim the compensation, and the person, we can say that he has met with an accident. That means in the next 48 hours he should not resume back to work. If he doesn't resume back to work, he is not stable. In that case, it can be considered as an industrial accident. Now, what is industrial injury? And personal injury to an employee which has been caused by an accident or an occupational disease, which he can develop it during the work in an organization or in the industry, which arises out of an employment and which would entitle the employee to compensation under the Workmen's Compensation Act 1923. So, when can we consider an industrial injury? We can consider an industrial injury to an employee which has been caused by an accident or an occupational disease which arises out of the employment, or it can be entitled for the employee to compensation under the Workmen's Compensation Act. Now we are going to also learn what are the causes of this accident. Now these are the different causes of accidents where we are going to divide it into three categories. The first category speaks about unsafe condition, then we have unsafe acts, and then we have other causes. First we will see unsafe condition. So any kind of defective plant, tools, equipments, machines, and material, this may lead to an accident. So if any in our industry, if we have any defective plants, tools, equipments, machines, or the material, this may lead to an accident in an industry. And any improper guarded equipment, that means if certain equipments it is required that probably it only the people who have learned or trained or only they
Good
can be,
afternoon, ma'am.
this needs to be used for the work. So in that case, any equipment which is not properly guarded also, that can also lead to an accident. Then again, any defective equipments, faulty layout and the location of the plant. If the location of the plant or the layout where how the things are being arranged inside the particular plant, if it is not correct, in that case also that will lead to an accident. Inadequate lighting arrangements, ventilation, unsafe storage, and inadequate safety devices. This may also lead to an accident. Working overtime, monotony, fatigue, tiredness, frustration, and anxiety could also lead to a accident. So these are the unsafe conditions which may lead to an accident. Let us see now what are the unsafe acts. Operating without an authority, there are certain machineries and equipments it is required that the person needs to be well trained, or the person needs to have the skill to do operate that particular machinery, and those machinery cannot be operated without an authority or without the permission of that respective person. So if any person operates that kind of machinery without an authority, in that case that may lead to an accident. We have seen many times the workers or the people who are working in the industry, they do not use the safety attires and the personal protective equipments like a headgear or a jacket or the goggles, so or the gum boots, okay, or the gloves. These all are the protective equipments, and if they are not using these kind of personal protective equipment, this may lead to an accident. Carelessly throwing the material at the workplace, because it is an industry, lot of scrap will be generated, lot of oil or the lubricant can be used, and if this has been thrown here and there carelessly, this might lead to an also accident. Working at unsafe speed, that means it is required that when you're working on the machine, either you need to work too slow, you need to work in a moderate speed, you cannot work too slow or too fast. Using unsafe equipment or using equipment unsafely, this might also lead to an accidents. Removing safety devices, so if you're not using your safety devices correctly, removing those safety devices and working in the dangerous machines, this may also lead to an accident. Taking unsafe positions under the suspended loads, that means when the loads are being unloaded from the truck or any other place, in that case, if the worker is not taking a right posture or the right position, that might lead to an accident. Distracting, teasing, abusing, quarterly daydreaming, and horseplay. These are the activities which has been done by the knowingly by the workers to another worker. This might also lead to an accident. And there are one of the important thing, one's own accident prone personality and behavior. Like if the worker is having a very casual attitude or careless attitude where he doesn't want to wear a headgear, he doesn't want to wear a jacket, this might also lead to an accident because it is his careless attitude which is a part of his personality and behavior which is leading to an accident. So this is coming, all these causes are coming under the unsafe acts. Then we have some other causes. These are the external causes. Like say you have an excessive noise. Whenever we talk about an industry, we assume and we understand that there were huge number of machineries which will be working all together, and this might lead to an accident because excessive noise will make a person distract from doing the work, and that might lead to an accident. Very high temperature, all these machineries together generate huge amount of heat, and if the workers are unable to bear this heat, this might also lead to an accident. Humid conditions, external weather, humid condition, as well as because of high temperature or the high heat, excessive heat from the machinery may lead to a humid conditions or a humid atmosphere in the industry, that might also lead to an accident. Bad working conditions, if the working condition for the employee is not comfortable, that might also lead to an accident. Now there is a possibility there could be an unhealthy environment. Okay, the environment where the worker is working, it is not clean, it is not healthy. This might also lead to an accident. Then we do have slippery floors. Okay, like if the lubricants oil are been spilled all over the floor where the work is happening, though the housekeeping people will clean it, but that will make the floor very slippery, and knowingly unknowingly there is a possibility if somebody can meet with an accident by slipping down on the floor. Okay, then we have excessive glare. Sometimes we understand certain machinery develop or produce excessive glare. Okay, and this glare may hit the eyes of the workers, and that might lead to an accident. Then when we talk about industry, there are different kinds of work which might be happening in the industry which generate lot of dust and fumes, right? Means so gases. So this may make a person feel uncomfortable to work in that particular atmosphere, and this may lead to an accident. Then arrogant behavior of a domineering superiors, this may also lead to an accident. Right? So these are the causes of the industrial accidents where we have categorized into three major categories: unsafe conditions, unsafe acts, and the other causes. Then we have another one of the cause of accident is consuming of intoxicants. Okay, so which is not spelled out, but this is very common when there are workers who consume any kind of a toxicant products. Okay, so in that case that might make a person disoriented, and that might lead to an accident. So I hope you have understood what is industrial accidents and what are the causes of the industrial accident. Then we have another important aspect over here which speaks about employee safety. What is employee safety? So, employee safety and security here refers to a protection of workers from the dangers of the industrial accident. Just now we learned what is industrial accident. So, employee safety is providing the employees and the workers safety and security and giving protection to the workers from the danger of the accidents. Now, an accident is an unplanned, uncontrolled event which can be major, minor, partial, total, or in case workers can completely gets disabled, it can also affect the productivity. So an accident free plant is expected from the employers. So an accident is something which is unplanned, uncontrolled. It could be major, minor, partial, or total, and this may make a worker also disabled, and this will affect the productivity of the company or the organization. So the accident free plant is the main expectation of all the employers. Now, what are the techniques of improving the safety and security of the employees? We can conduct different safety programs. We can have a proper safety committee. We can have safety engineering. We can have a safety education and training. We can conduct different kind of a safety contest in the company. We can have a disciplinary action for the people who are not obeying and who are not following the safety measures. Okay, so these are the techniques of improving the security, safety, and the security of the